That first day, let's start with that. The wild day. There was the coolest piece, well, cool footage for everyone on Twitter of the crosswinds, echelons everywhere. It was wild.
Yeah, still having flashbacks.
Talk to me about that day.
Well, I mean, before I went to the UAE tour, I'd spoken to a few guys. I mean, I was a bit of a last minute addition to the team, and I'd spoken to a few guys, and they're like, yeah, UAE Tour, it's the easiest race in the world. You go there, you lose form. So you sit on the back all day. It's cruisy as, and then there's like, it's hard for the last 10K, and there's 2 hilltop finishes, which are really hard. And, sometimes there's wind, but it splits for 10 minutes and then it all comes back together every time, and just super negative. And I was like, sweet. And we're driving out to the first stage, and it was blowing a hoolie. Like, there was sand flying across the road. It's like, I'm like, geez, pretty surprising that this always comes back together. And like, the start was, we had a 500-meter section of neutral, and kilometer 0 was cross tailwinds. And that's the most dangerous wind for echelons and splitting, and just the speed you go just makes it so hard. Kilometer 0, I reckon the bunch was in like 4 or 5 groups. And I was sitting pretty good there.
Out of the neutral.
Off kilometer 0, 175K stage. I think I saw one photo on Twitter. There's like literally the little ticker up the top says like 175K to go, and there's just like people everywhere. But I was good there. I was sitting good. I was ready for that. I was up eventually in the front sort of echelon, group of 30 or 40. And I thought, oh, beauty, let's go. This would be great if it stays like this the whole day. And then it did shut down, and it all came back together. And it was really switched off. I'm like, I see what everyone was saying, like it splits and then people calm down. And we were, I don't know, at this point, it must have been like 80K to go. And the bunch was in a huge bubble. Like, there was no stress. There was heaps of wind still, but it was like, okay, the sprinters teams everyone's on the same page. They want a sprint royale day one. There's another funny little video snippet on Twitter. It's like a 30-second thing. And there's like, you've got some of the hitters just sitting at the back having a chat. And then the camera pans to the front, and De Koenig is putting it in the gutter. And in that situation, it doesn't matter how good you are, how strong you are. If you are not in the front, you will not be in the front echelon. Like, you've got Filippo Ganna in the peloton, guy who wins every time trial he starts and flogs everyone. He can't ride across the gap. And it's a knife edge. So if the road's big, that echelon can be whatever it was on the first day. I think like 26, 27 guys. If the road's small, that would have been 10 guys. So it's like, as many people as can fit across the road, the knife goes in and makes a split. And from that point on, it was carnage the whole day. It was hell. It's like the type of day you just don't want to have to experience. And we had no one in the front. So it was, we were all sort of chatting away, having a good old time, thinking the UAE tour was super relaxed, and it split, and we had no one there. And at that point, you can't really do anything other than fend for yourself and try and survive.